pick up in the aftermath of the fight in the park. Our doppelganger was taken down by our 3 heroes. Doppelganger has been taken away by Vector Kane, who is wearing one of these specialized suits that prevents Doppelganger from being able to read his powers, and Doppelganger is being very sassy about it. You can still hear him saying, "Come on, not even a little peek? I mean, come on, man. We've been doing this dance for how long?" He's talking big game, but Doppelganger's not going anywhere, and the Phoenix is there, but I think he has to help to further secure the situation just in case Doppelganger wasn't working alone. So, better safe than sorry when a villain randomly comes out of retirement after a couple of years. And you are all standing there. Jenna O'Malley approaches and she says, "Hey, you 3. Looks like you've had quite the time. Usually students are in school for a couple more months before they run into any villains. How are you doing?"
An accident.
We were investigating. We were investigating something else unrelated, and we kind of all stumbled into this. And but I'm glad we were here.
Yeah, no, we handled it as best we can, and kept damage to a minimum. Just concentrated here.
You all did really well. If you don't mind, she points over to, it kind of looks like a SWAT truck, but it's not a SWAT truck. That's just the best description I can think of at the moment. You know that they travel around for sort of like after-action reports whenever there's been a major incident in the city. There's also like some sort of medical supplies there, so on and so forth. So she points to, if you don't mind, I don't know if they've talked about this in your classes yet, but typically after big fights, we like to get one-on-one and get some questions answered just to help sort of clarify what's going on.
So you want a statement from us in the action van?
Yes. Filing the after-action report for records, and also to make sure that you're okay.
In one of the action vans, like the actual Institute action vans.
Yeah. They're really cool on the inside.
Oh my god.
Madigan's snickering at Beth because she's like vibrating because she's so excited.
Yeah, vibrating, but like on one leg because your knee hurts and you're trying. I don't think you realize how hurt you are right now because the adrenaline is still going.
She's kind of favoring one leg, but the adrenaline is definitely still pumping because they just took Doppelganger away.
Whoever wants to go first, I promise I will keep this quick so you all can go get some rest or wherever it is you're going afterwards.
I'll go first because I'm picking up pizza.
Yes.
Nice.
Just go after me and it'll give me a chance to go get.
Incredibly important.
I grab your arm and I'm like, "You're a saint."
Jenna's just nodding and understanding and approval. Yeah, after-action pizza's always a good call. Okay, come on in. And she leads you in, and the inside of this van is very nice. It's also nicely air-conditioned, but not, actually cold. It's just, nice, comfortable temperature. There's places to sit. There's, walls of monitors. Well, one wall that's covered in monitors where you would imagine this could also be used, during a situation to keep an eye on different facets and so on and so forth. But at the moment, those monitors are off, and there's, comfortable table. There's, a cooler that is open that is filled with, water bottles and, sports drinks. As well as probably a couple energy drinks.
Madigan's salivating at all the techie stuff. Oh.
Yeah, I told you this is pretty cool. Here, drink this. She hands you one of, it's a sports drink, but they have some that are specially designed for people who have enhanced strength abilities.
Fabulous.
Yeah, take this. It'll help with the soreness that comes after a particularly big fight. And make yourself comfortable. Do you need any medical anything? Or how are you doing?
I think it's mostly going to be bruises. I don't think they got any real direct hits.
Okay, that's good. Just remember to ice it, and if you notice any pain that is particularly sharp or not going away, please go get that checked out, especially if you had any head injuries. Did you get hit in the head? Or...
I don't believe I did, no.
Okay, good. They'll probably have someone to check you out before you head on to wherever you're going. Just safety precaution, gotta make sure you're okay. But okay, let's get to it. So how did you get involved in this situation? How did this get started? How did you end up here?
It was Marcus and Bethany who found... What's her name?
Yeah, Marcus and Bethany found Jumper. So you came in after they had found, and around when they started figuring out Prankster was being framed.
Right, yeah. So they called me in. Yeah. I tell her what they told me. And then after that, we ended up figuring out it was Doppelganger or someone like them. Or Prankster. And head to the museum to go check some stuff out.
And at what point did you suspect or figure out that Doppelganger was the one behind the domino prank? And she lists off a couple of others.
Was it when we saw one of the guard at the front, and then when we were leaving we saw the same person at the back? Was that when we started figuring it out?
We could hand wave some of this. So is there anything you hold back from that?
I don't think so. Madigan doesn't think there's really anything she needs to hold back too much. Of course, she's not going to share a ton of stuff about Marcus's growing powers for that, so that's not my stuff to share. But otherwise, pretty open book.
Yeah, so that discovery had started after Bethany realized that she had seen the exact same security guard in the back of the museum as well as working in the front. And then you got confirmation looking in some of Prankster's notes where you had to hold 3 pieces of paper together, line it up, and hold it up to the light to see something about how Doppelganger escaped. And they were still mad at Prankster.
And that's when we decided that we were going to do that stamp on our wrists and then do the hand symbol.
But she can't see the stamp because she didn't see it go on, but I think the 3 of you still have it.
Oh, probably. Yeah. I'm if have a black light, we've got this stamp on our wrist that we've all got that we used as a precaution just in case.
Yeah, that was very clever.
Needed something no one could actually see. And make sure that we could figure out who was who. Just because memories don't always stay as a single person's memory.
That's true. There's some tricky people out there, so... Was there any point where you came into physical contact with Doppelganger that you were aware of? Skin-to-skin physical contact?
I don't think it was skin-to-skin. I'm usually... I gesture at my whole outfit, long sleeve leather jackets, leather gloves, and I did tackle him, but he was wearing an outfit.
Okay, that's good.
Not that I'm aware of
direct physical, and any direct physical contact with anyone else in the time when you were pursuing Doppelganger that you aside from your friends who had the stamps?
I don't believe so. Did he come into contact with anybody else? Not that I recall.
I think offhand Doppelganger just has telepathy, or at least limited range telepathy. I think we were able to have distance kept the whole time because we had suits, didn't we? We had protective gear.
Right, we did. We had the protective thing. Yeah. I forgot about that part, yeah.
The only person up close to him was me. wailing on him.
But again, you had the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think nobody actually in our immediate group came in contact. I think there was...
Didn't have Jumper's powers or the pranksters. Did transform into Jumper, though.
Yeah, let's just hand wave and say you're all in this conversation. It makes more sense to have it kind of all together. So you're all in the cool van.
I'm imagining Scarlet was just so terse, was like, yeah, fine, we handle it, it's done. No, go. And Jenna was like, okay, do we need the rest of the team in here?
I mean, we should record that anyway.
Yeah,
in case that makes for good setup.
We can just do that.
So just run through your questions.
Yeah, just run through your questions and don't answer them well.
That sounds very fun.
This is your first big fight. Adrenaline messes with the memories. It might be better if I bring the rest of your team in, because they might be able to help fill in the blanks, especially if you weren't all, like, together every single step of the way.
Probably smart, yeah.
Okay. She opens the door, like, Madigan's been in there for, like, maybe 2 minutes, opens the door, waves Claire and Kid Phoenix in.
Oh, wow, that was pretty quick. I had no idea you were such a succinct interview participant. Those are all those words sounded good together,
Yeah,
right?
those are words. Oh, it's so cool in this van.
I hear you saying, I just look at you, eye contact. No.
Okay.
Marcus, she hands you just a regular water bottle and then, like, a special energy drink to Bethany, because speedster. Okay, so make yourself at home. We were just talking through how you got involved with the situation, when you were able to figure out that it was Doppelganger involved. I'm assuming that they were impersonating Prankster for some reason.
Oh, I know this one. They were impersonating Prankster because Prankster was the original person to actually catch them last time.
That's right, yes.
And there was a sort of... jealousy might not be the right word. We're thinking there might be some ulterior motives. But at the very least, there was that jealousy involved of, like, using Prankster both as a signal that they had returned, but, like, low-key. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I'm back, but not back.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
And to ruin Prankster's reputation, because Prankster had been canceled recently.
It's true. And we're only getting the footage now that uncancels Prankster, but there's some people that are never going to see the footage afterwards, so they're just going to live their lives thinking Prankster's been canceled.
Yeah, and that's not fair.
Oh, I have no doubt Prankster's going to make a pretty big comeback. I do believe the Salamander's birthday is coming up, and he always does something for that. I'm a little worried about what it's going to be this time, but it should be fine.
Just keep a few supers on hand.
Yeah, it's tough breaks having water and fire powers at the same time.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, he did do his whole get up so no one would know what to expect. Didn't quite work out the way he thought it would, but I mean, he commits to the bit. I'll give him that.
I mean, having fought with Prankster, it certainly felt that way. Like, we never knew what to expect.
Oh, I thought we
it
were
was...
talking about Salamander.
Oh, no, unclear on my end. Yeah, no, can we cut this part? I don't want to, like, make it seem like we're being mean to Salamander unprompted.
It's all good. There was a lot of talking all at once. It's easy to get things mixed up. I was taking a nap when I got a call that something had gone down and we needed to do a debrief, because I requested as the person who kind of introduced you to the Institute. I was like, I would like to handle their first debrief. And it happened a lot earlier than I expected it to.
Yeah. I appreciate the vote of confidence. That's very nice of you.
This was a surprise for us, because at first we thought this was just Prankster pulling some complicated ruse, one-upping themselves. But then it became clear that it wasn't Prankster at all, which meant Prankster was missing. And then we were like, well, where's Prankster? So we tried to, figure out where would Prankster go, where would Prankster be. So this led to a lot of investigation to try to figure out where their hideouts are, because they got a lot of little hideouts and secret places.
There are certainly some supers who like to have hideouts everywhere.
Yeah. And we ended up, I believe our final stop was Square Island, but before we even got on the boat, things just sort of escalated and ended up in that big fight. Yeah, ended up in the big fight with Doppelganger.
Did Doppelganger say anything during the fight? Anything to indicate maybe what his plan or goals were, or if, like, is anyone he's targeting, or what he's been up to?
Well, Doppelganger certainly wasn't expecting to fight us, and said
Right.
so, and, was really, condescending. But I think we really showed Doppelganger.
I think Doppelganger was hoping for somebody else, but we were not somebody else, if that makes sense.
Definitely we're a surprise for him.
And it was interesting because we're pretty sure Doppelganger had been tailing us, at least to a small degree, because, again, shapeshifter, and we had just kind of noticed, maybe seeing the same person here and there. So I just don't think Doppelganger was expecting us to actually track down Prankster, which we did. Prankster was invaluable in the battle. They split themselves into multiple targets. Doppelganger had no idea which one was which. It was brilliant. They were doing little dances, which wasn't as helpful as they could have been, but it was very distracting. It was very distracting.
Which is what we needed in the fight.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, a lot of pranksters is going to drive anybody up a wall if they're not expecting it. I mean that in a very nice way.
That's Prankster for you. He just loves making duplicates.
She sounds
No
personally
role
harmed
needed.
by
He
Prankster.
has at least once done something that annoyed the daylights out of her.
Yeah.
Like, raise your hand if you have been personally victimized by Prankster.
Prankster has, like, a file that's just their own filing cabinet,
Oh, I'm certain.
and they're just like,
Oh,
this guy's gonna go
For
villain. Like, he's gonna, and Prankster's like, no, I'm not.
I'll never go villain.
He's very much just down for the chaos and whichever direction it takes him. He's not on purpose causing like harm or anything like that. He just likes to watch a lot of crazy.
Yeah.
Aegis would actually be concerned about him if he ever did anything that would actually cause, like, actual trouble other than just mild chaos and occasional inconvenience.
Oh.
I think the worst thing he's really done is like property damage. That's all I've ever heard of.
Yeah, we've had to have a couple conversations with him about toning things down a little bit, but for the most part, he doesn't get into too much trouble. Back to Doppelganger, though. Did Doppelganger mention any names or locations? Were there any specific places that you think you might have seen Doppelganger operating? We're trying to figure out if he was working alone or if there's a particular reason he came out of retirement.
Doppelganger had definitely infiltrated the museum and the big theater and had cameras as well. So definitely has some kind of remote viewing, and was either, I think originally was looking for Prankster, but then was looking for us because we started poking around. So maybe he does have a lair somewhere. Maybe they can figure that out.
Possibly. If you don't mind, and she, like, taps a couple of things on the table and this little map pops up, and she, like, flicks it over so it's in front of the three of you. If you could mark the location where you saw the cameras or anywhere where you had any other places you had interactions, we can get some people double checking, see if there's anything we can find there. Just gotta
Madigan
cover
just
the bases.
goes over and just marks everything.
Can y'all? I don't even know if you need to roll for this, because Glider did not get that was a fake fight. I did not get that was just like putting on airs for Doppelganger to get picked up. Like, you two may need to like catch each other's eye and like pierce the mask on me or something.
Do you all want to, or do we just want to say that you know Bethany well enough?
See, that's the real question is, how public is our debrief? Does it go straight to the Hero Institute, or are public people able to access it?
It most likely wouldn't be available to the public unless you gave specific permission. Their privacy is important for superheroes. It would go into archives where only certain individuals connected to the Institute would be able to access freely. Other people would have to submit a request. But also with piercing the mask, you don't actually have to ask the questions out loud. You could just casually vibe check Glider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to casually vibe check Glider.
I'm leaning over the map and circling, and I'm still just so jazzed about this fight, and I'm answering her questions, so y'all can definitely vibe check me.
Alright. Well, we got an 11,
Ooh.
which is
I was just
good.
gonna say, if you roll poorly, I could do it. I got a plus.
I was gonna
3.
say, I am known to roll poorly, but not this time.
Yeah, that was a good roll.
Yeah. This time I catch all of the vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at this, but it is working. Alright. These don't really work for what I'm trying to do.
You could either tweak the questions, or I'll just say you know exactly where Glider's head's at right now.
Okay, I think that might make more sense, because these questions are all about sneaky plans, and I don't think there's anything untoward going on here.
I'm scribbling all over this map, and you two catch each other's eye.
I kind of lean over. Hey, Glider.
Yeah.
Bud. Something that occurred to us during the fight, and we're just checking in with it now, and I think Scarlet Sentinel's on the same page, and I guess this might be relevant to our debrief. I don't think the fight was a no-holds-barred cage match, if that makes sense. I think that Doppelganger was holding back, because they kept mentioning the Phoenix and about getting the Phoenix's attention, and it seemed more than likely that they might have been wanting to get caught. And I kind of leave it at that, because I don't want to talk about my secret dad stuff with an interviewer present. But yeah, outside of the interview, I'm aware, obviously, that Doppelganger was a double agent and has new information and is trying to get it out there.
But yeah, if he wanted to keep going, he had many different forms he could have taken to cause a lot more damage.
Yeah, they even had baseline telepathy.
You guys were getting telepathy messages?
Oh, I was, and at first I thought it was to psych me out, but I think they were just trying to get more information, and they ended up with, I don't think they knew who I was, so that means they've been out of the game for a while.
I think Doppelganger was just trying to get in your head, and maybe they were holding back. And I touch my stomach where I'm starting to ache from getting just beat up, and I'm well, even villains have code of ethics, so maybe he realized we were students and that he underestimated us and didn't think he needed to go so hard. But he definitely felt my knee in his face, so
yeah, no, I'm not trying to undercut that we got him. I'm just saying that might have been according to their plan.
To get where he's at now.
Whether it was us or somebody else.
I don't think he wanted to make it easy for us to catch him, because I am definitely going to be bruised in the morning, and we are definitely not walking away completely unscathed. But I think he definitely could have used some of his more powerful forms to cause a lot more trouble if he wanted to.
Well, I think that's definitely one way of looking at it. And how do we know they're not rusty? Anyway, I think I circled where all of the cameras were that I remember.
You only found one camera that was near the jewelry shop. There's others that Madigan can find when you get close, but I don't know if you know specifically where they are. But I guess, Madigan, if you would like to roll with Superior to see if you're able to mark, like, roundabout where the other cameras might have been?
I got an 8.
You were able to mark a few locations based on what you were able to find, and you do still have access to that information, but you haven't been able to, like, dig farther into it. You put circles on the map, but they're kind of big circles.
But in general areas that were, like, that he's mentioned or, like, we've seen important things happen, so at least it's a decent start.
Yeah, as you're doing that, you see Jenna's just nodding appreciatively, and she doesn't say a lot when you're talking about how you think Doppelganger was in the fight for another reason. She's just taking notes. If anyone would like to, I guess, roll to pierce the mask to vibe check her. You have been listening to Queen City Supers, a graveyard tape-style story using the game Masks. Masks: A New Generation is a superhero role-playing game in which a team of young heroes fights villains, saves lives, and tries to figure out who they are. Featuring Caitlin as Madigan, aka Scarlet Sentinel, the Janus. Jess as Bethany Bertolucci, aka Glider, the Beacon. Ian as Marcus, aka Kid Phoenix, the Doomed. And Brianna Jean as the Keeper and Producer.